Yo, what's up? Welcome to another build guide. So this is another Slayer Archer build. I also have an Elemental Hit Slayer guide that I put maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So you can also go and check that. That is a different build. The talent tree is gonna be similar, but this is a different concept. So first of all, we are gonna take a look at the new Forbidden Flame and Flesh Jewels. That is what I used in this build, but you can also use these in Elemental Hit also. So let's just check these jewels. Fatal, Flourish. I cannot read these in Path of Building for some reason, but this actually adds a repeat to non-travel attacks. And the final repeat deals, I believe, 60% more damage, something like that. The picture is on the screen, but Path of Building currently doesn't support this. So I cannot actually see this, or maybe... Oh yeah, I found it, alright. Final repeat of attack skills deals 60% more damage. Yeah, I was right. So... because this says attack skills, this works for traps, I believe mines, totems, and also bow skills. You probably maybe thought, yeah, this is probably something like a multi-strike, so we can maybe use Awaken multi-strike, play like a dual strike that hits a lot of times. That is actually what I thought once I read the patch notes maybe before the leak. But I actually bought these jewels when they were like 10 Exile at league start and tried it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something with this later on, but I probably need some higher budget. So I actually haven't touched the jewels. I noticed that some people play traps with these, but who will play traps anyway, so that's why I wanted to do something different. Obviously the best choice was bow skills. So right now I believe these jewels are way more expensive, so if you have the budget, feel free to try. But you can still play this build without these jewels. These are the min-max of this build. Maybe they are even bugged, I don't know. They probably work, but maybe they are bugged because these are new. If something that you know, maybe make a comment. If I don't forget, I will also shoot a couple of boss clips without the jewels to see the DPS difference. I will try to do those. Maybe use another Forbidden Jewel, I'm not sure. So yeah, these are the min-max. These actually lets you repeat all attacks. Also works for bows. So if I shoot Storm Rain and only click the button once, I actually shoot twice. Because you shoot twice, here is some funny business. So if you have focused ballista support on a ballista setup, I have another Storm Rain on ballista, so we have two separate sixlings. So let's say if normally if you press your attack, your totem also attacks, right? Because with focused ballista support, they actually attack whenever you attack, alright? Because I actually repeat my attacks, each attack that the ballista copies actually gets repeated. Because I also attack twice, they also repeat twice. So with only a single click, my character himself shoots 2 Storm Rains, and the totem shoots 4 Storm Rains. Another question, are those also bugged? Is that even work? You know, where do I get that 60% more damage? Do I get that at the 4th attack or the 2nd and 4th at the same time? I have no idea. Because if you think about it, I normally click only once, they also repeat, so it means 2 attacks for the totem. Because I also repeat, they also repeat 1 additional time, 3rd and the 4th attack. So not sure where that 60% more damage actually procs for the totems, the ballistas. So yeah, there are some questions unanswered, so not sure about the jewels in that. Maybe maybe they are even bugged. Maybe they even provide less DPS or maybe more DPS, and not really sure about. So yeah, if you can afford those, just also buy those or play the build without these jewels. You can still pull off some decent DPS because this was overkill. I killed every boss in the game. Maybe I skipped one. I believe maybe I skipped Uber Eater, but not sure. But I killed all of the other Uber bosses. Feared that was a joke. The DPS is just overkill. So let's just explain rest of the stuff. So this is Slayer bow build. Because why I chose Slayer? Because of the jewels also. Maybe you can also play with a Deadeye maybe. But these days I enjoy Slayer a lot because he is actually tankier and pulls maybe even more DPS compared to a Deadeye. I'm not sure. But he is most of the obvious reason is because he is tankier compared to a Ranger. But again, if you have maybe Deadeye, maybe just copy the talent tree, try to play on her. But we use actually replica Pharaoh's Fury that actually lets us generate frenzy and endurance charges. Later on we convert those endurance charges to brutal charges with Arms Anguish belt. This belt is like 1 chaos with some useful corruptions, maybe goes up to 1 exalt. Because Slayer also has Masterful Form, your maximum endurance charges is equal to your maximum frenzy charges. This way, if you invest into maximum frenzy charges, let's say I have 9 frenzy charges, Replica for All already generates them thanks to Aspect of Cat. When I generate frenzy charges, I will also have obviously endurance charges, which are going to be brutal charges thanks to the belt. They will also be 9, or if you have 10 frenzy charges, 10 brutal charges. That is what Slayer does. If you play on Deadeye, you will have 3 brutal charges, which won't do much actually. Maybe use a different belt or different items, or if you want to try a ranger or other characters, maybe even a Scion Ascendant. So this is what makes Slayer special, and he can actually manage some decent DPS thanks to these items. For the Aspect of Cat, obviously you want one of your items to have an open suffix, so you can actually craft that on Menagerie altar. Just buy Farul, first of the Plains Beast, and put your item and kill the beast, whatever, and that's it. Craft your Aspect of Cat on one of your items. Even better, if that item has a socket, it can also be an unset ring. Also make sure you put less duration support, because that actually helps a lot, because the buffs actually lasts shorter, so you actually refresh those charges faster. If you don't have less duration, you will miss those brutal charges for like 2 seconds. Friend charges are not a problem, because we have friend charge notables on the talent tree. They also have some duration while you are trying to go for the passive maybe. But most of times brutal charges actually lasts shorter, so maybe you will lose that if you skip that less duration. So that is super important if you want to min-max your DPS uptime, obviously. So Storm Rain, that is a skill that you actually shoot some arrows on the ground, and if you shoot multiple arrows, they actually start to do some static electricity between those, you know, something like that. And that electric attacks beams, actually. You can just check that in Path of Building. It says beams. Once you click your Storm Rain, you need to pick actually beam, because there is also arrow. So once you hit that beam, you actually also need to type some number in configuration. I'm not sure how many of those overlaps, because it is impossible to tell. You can actually put up to 100 arrows on the ground. I actually also don't know if I can do that or not, but with the also Storm Rain Ballistas, I definitely have more than 100, I guess. So I just typed maybe 70 overlapping beams. Maybe it is 50, I really don't know. So just type something 50, 60, 70, whatever, but it is probably not 100 anyways. So that is actually how you can see your DPS pretty much. But again, the jewels are also cannot be calculated right now. So my DPS in Path of Building are also without the fatal Flourish jewels. Because they are not supported right now in Path of Building. So with 70 beams, my DPS is like 53 million. But maybe it is even more, maybe if it is less, I don't know. So don't get caught to the numbers in Path of Building. Alright, just play the build. You will see the DPS in the game. Path of Building isn't important. So we want to shoot lots of arrows, so we can actually go up to that 100 arrow limit maybe. So GMP support, I'm not even using Awakened, because I wanted to lower the mana cost. I picked Anomalous GMP support. It is 1 Exalt. That also has reduced mana cost of skills. Also I have Inspiration support. It is not Divergent, but I guess I later on bought one, but I'm not really sure right now. I will just also put that in my Path of Building. Maybe I played with that, I actually don't remember. So maybe a Divergent Inspiration if you still have mana problems. So that is how to fix your mana problem. You can also obviously use a Replica Conqueror's Efficiency Jewel, which I haven't. You can also do that. There are lots of jewel slots in this build actually. Also try to put a minus mana cost on your rings maybe. I only have one on one of my rings, you know. So it is easier to do fix that mana issue if you have 2 rings with open prefixes. Actually, you can easily skip that Divergent Inspiration, because it is like 4.5 Exalt. It is an expensive gem. But obviously this is a bow build, so don't expect to spend low budget or something. Make sure you have at least 50 Exalt, maybe 100 Exalt. In the end, I probably spent around 100 something. But again, I bought the jewels when they were like 10 Exalt, so I'm not gonna comment on that. Yeah, that's about Storm Rain. So this is a Trinity build. That's why I picked, let's just start the items. A bow that has lots of elemental damage on it. These are popular because Omniscience builds also use these. There are lots of results on the market. Try to get something that also has some additional arrows. But you can just start with something maybe doesn't have anything. They are like, because maybe 2 exalt, 3 exalt, dirt cheap, but if you just add some arrows, they go up in prices very fast, let's say. So lots of different elements. Just try to get a good elemental DPS bow. I just typed 1000 DPS, maybe just bought the first one, the cheapest one. Crit strike chance is useless because we are gonna apply brittle. That's why you should probably get good suffixes like attack speed, crit multiplier, or double damage. This build has triple damage chance, but double damage also works. If you fail to get that triple damage, you actually have a chance to get score a double damage. So that's why also maybe having double damage on your bow, maybe cluster jewels if you want to use something else, that is actually helpful. Quiver, again additional arrow. After that, life, flat damage. You can get any damage, fire, lightning, cold, it doesn't matter. This build deals all kind of elements at the same time. Crit multiplier, attack speed. Higher attack speed is important, so that's why I tried to put that on all of my pieces maybe. So I can actually overlap more arrows on the ground, those kind of stuff. I actually use, where's that? I guess precision. I'm still trying to find it. So accuracy is not that important in this build. Or maybe I'm just, no, I don't have any precision, I guess. So yeah, maybe try to get a quiver that also has an accuracy, but there is also gonna be gloves and rings. So make sure you check your accuracy, alright? Or maybe use a precision. I cannot find it. I guess I played without precision. Because I played this build like 1 week ago, I actually forgot the buffs. I'm just checking those, but I cannot find any precision. I guess I don't have any. Yeah. So if you still need accuracy, make sure you fix that. Again, quiver, rings, gloves maybe. Or also helmet. Yeah, that is also a rare piece. So next piece, helmet. First of all, the best enchant, Storm Rain, 40% increased beam frequency. So you know that some builds have some good, let's say they have an enchant, but that doesn't have much impact. Let's say 40% Ice Nova damage, I don't know, something attack speed. But this actually has beam frequency, that is something entirely different and provides huge DPS. This is just a stupid helmet enchant actually. So make sure you get help from a Labyrinth service provider. Because no one plays Storm Rain, it was like 3 exalt. So yeah, just get help, alright? Make sure that your helmet has an enchant in the end. For the stats, this is an archer build. We already have some suppressed spell damage on the talent tree, so make sure you have 100 suppressed spell in the end, so you can be tankier. So that's why on your rare pieces, try to get some good spell suppression. Also life and resistances. These days I try to use lots of Searing Exarch and Eater of Worlds items to make builds cheaper. That's why make sure you buy a lot of those currencies and then also craft your items implicits later on. If you want lower mana cost, put that mana cost of attacks. For the other one, I just picked attack damage. Just check database, POE database website. Maybe there are better stuff. Maybe if you already fixed the mana issue, maybe. But without this helmet, yeah, 9 additional mana cost. This actually saves me 9 mana. So yeah, that is a good implicit in the end. Gloves. This is a Slayer, again masterful form build, so more frenzy charges are better. Try to get a frenzy charge gloves if you have the budget. But it is actually hard to put suppress on those. I actually crafted something on my elemental hit build earlier. I just used recombinators on different items. One of them obviously is a warlord with maximum frenzy, and the other gloves is just a random glove with suppression. I just tried to combine those with recombinators until I hit a single glove with frenzy charge and spell suppress damage. So yeah, that is actually how you can craft these. You should probably do some crafting because that makes more sense and that is gonna be cheaper. So on your gloves, in the end, frenzy charge, suppress, if you still need life, resist, whatever you can get actually. Just try to get the DPS and suppress. You can easily craft your resist from rings. You can also use Hands of High Templar with frenzy charge implicit, that is super cheap. Until you can afford or craft a warlord gloves like this. Boots, again suppress, life, movement speed. If you have an open prefix without the movement speed, just make sure you put movement speed plus cannot be chilled. I couldn't do that in this build, that's why I sometimes get chilled. If you want to be immune to those effects, make sure you have an open prefix boots, alright? Make sure you put that cannot be chilled. I already have Brian King Pantheon, so character is also immune to freeze, obviously. For the implicits, I just picked maximum fire resist for more defense. There is actually action speed, but I just wanted to be tankier because DPS was overkill. Life regeneration rate, something defensive on the boots. Life regeneration rate, I believe, doesn't do much actually, because this character already has huge leech and life on it. So because I use a Watcher's Eye with life on it with Vitality Aura. Because Storm Rain has lots of arrows on the ground, this build actually life on it a lot. I mean a lot. Your path of building will say something like, where's my Storm Rain? 8.5 thousand life on it. I'm not sure if that is even correct. But especially I believe I noticed that in Uber Cortex fight, I actually leech a lot. So that definitely works. Maybe the half of the amount, I'm not sure. The build already has leech. And on top of that life on it. So very good healing actually. So that life regeneration rate actually maybe does something in the end. Or just skip that and put something else. Again, just check POE database website. There are lots of... Everything is in that website, you know. Just put whatever you think is better for your build. For the enchant, obviously, damage penetrates elemental resistances if you haven't killed recently. That is the best one for single target DPS. If you also map a lot with this character, by the way, you should definitely use a lightning arrow. The setup is in the path of building already, because Storm Rain's mapping is just shit. So just jump swap lightning arrow, bam. That is one of the best mapper skills with chain support, obviously. So maybe you can also get attack speed if you have killed recently for faster mapping. Rings. First of all, if you can afford, or if you can also craft those with recombinators, maybe Frenzy Charge rings. I only have one Frenzy Charge ring this time because I had some other stats needed for the build, especially intelligence. On my elemental build, I actually had 2 Frenzy Charge rings, but I couldn't do that this time. So Frenzy Charge, if you can afford or craft those, again, recombinators are the way to go. If you still need accuracy, any resist, any attributes, you also make sure you get those. And also maybe some open prefix to put non-channel skills mana cost. And later on, final piece, Amulet. I used this like 4 times this league. This is one of the best amulets right now in the game. It became even more meta. So if you still don't know how this works, you might make sure first of all make your 2 highest attributes for this build. They are going to be strength and dexterity to be equal. So if I have 200 strength, I also need to have 200 dexterity. It can also be intelligence, but this build doesn't have much intelligence, alright? So for this build, strength and dexterity are the attributes that we chose. So if you still need some attributes, make sure you put those on your items. I actually have 34 strength on my ring. Maybe even have some on my jewels. Not, yeah, I guess, yes, I just found a jewel with strength. So I believe you still need a little bit strength. Don't get any dexterity because talent tree already has a lot of that. So make sure in the end your strength and dexterity are equal. So you can actually apply brittle, step, and scorch all the time. Your damage type doesn't matter. If you also maybe get a single damage type bow, maybe you can still apply all of the ailments. So this amulet does that, but our bow already has triple damage stats, you know, all elements. So that doesn't matter in the end for this build. This amulet is always corrupted, so make sure you get something that has good, positive, maximum resistances. So your character can actually be tankier. That's pretty much it about this amulet. And finally, let's just check a little bit the talent tree maybe, and that's gonna be it. So let's check the jewels that I used, so you can actually understand better. Because this build had lots of dexterity, we actually converted some to strength. So inertia jewel, these are obviously cheap, that's why I picked corrupted blood on this, so it is actually cheaper. So this actually converts all these dexterity nodes to strength, alright? So without jewel, you can see that I miss a lot of strength, so this is the perfect place to put that. So yeah, feel free to get a different strength roll depending on your other items. So you need to do your own calculation on your own build. So don't try to get that 22 strength, alright? Don't do that. Maybe you need a different amount. Or if you buy this, you need to put something else, you know, a different amount on your ring. Maybe jewels, alright? A rare jewel. Crit multiplier with lightning. So this is a lightning build. The skill has lightning and elemental tags. It is also a bow skill. So the good jewel stats, life, all resist, maybe if you still need resist, light resist, fire resist, whatever. Crit multiplier with elemental skills, with lightning skills, and also global crit multiplier. Attack speed with bows, damage with bows. Those are good stats for your rare jewels. Or again, I said that already, if you still need maybe strength or intelligence, also you can get those. Like this one, strength, lightning damage, multi. Watcher's Eye, again, life on it, vitality, if you want to have a better healing. This was not that expensive, that's why I also get something with determination, physical damage reduction at the same time. So this is a double Watcher's Eye in the end. The character is tankier. You can even get DPS maybe from your Watcher's Eye, but you don't need this. You don't need more DPS on this build. The obvious place for Intuitive Leap, I always use this because this saves a lot of points. You can actually get points without the tree is even being connected to them, you know. Crit multiplier, max res, all res, attack speed, accuracy, life, and obviously friend charge. There is increased effect of non-damage elements in this mastery. This is good for Uber content. I believe you don't need this for regular content, but Uber content has 70% less damage taken on the bosses. So that's why this actually helps a lot. So you can actually score those higher brittle, scorch, and seps easier, you know. So effect of ailment actually helps with the ailments. So make sure you get that. If you think that your brittle chance is low, maybe just try the build without that passive, maybe, alright? Depending on your budget, because maybe your DPS is lower. Large clusters, best one for Slayer, Fit to Fury, Fuel to Fight, Martial Prowess. There is nothing else to pick. This is the best combination. These are like 1 Exile, 2 Exile. People craft these all the time. Next, Medium Jewels. Again, for the bow build, the best one, Eye to Eye Repeater. Because this build already has high crit strike chance easily, I didn't pick pressure points, those kind of crit jewels. Eye to Eye Repeater, again, same thing. Attack speed, proj damage. These are good for these builds. Forbidden Jewels, already explained this at start. If you cannot afford Fatal Flourish yet, maybe get, let's just check. Headsman maybe for 20% culling. Super good for Uber bosses. Actually, you just delete them instantly after 20%. Maybe permanent fortify. I guess these are like 50 chaos. No one buys these. So you can even be tankier if that is what you are looking for. Maybe this, but not sure. So nothing much else to get actually. I believe this also works. No. This is for physical damage. No. Gladiator is shit. So yeah, just get maybe this or that fortify. Yeah. Or just use rare jewels until you afford Fatal Flourish. Lion's Eye Fall jewel. Converts any melee weapon type modifier to bow modifiers. That's why we get these dagger and claw passives. They are right now all bow passives. So this is the place to use that jewel, alright? Or frenzy charge. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I upload regularly. So just check my other builds. I have lots of different budget builds in my channel. Mage Blood builds, non-Mage Blood builds, cheap builds, expensive builds. I try to do lots of different stuff. Most builds can kill Uber bosses. Just check all of those. If you have any build ideas, maybe you can also type those in my Discord, not here. Make sure you are in my Discord because that is where I chat with people. If you want to support the channel, you can become a Patreon member, and I thank to everyone who does that. Thanks for watching. I will see you later. Bye bye.